Hi guys, I'm back. so in the, hopefully you would have seen the previous video where I show you how to use a big trimmer and how to make as close to an A2 size card out of your A4 paper. It's not the same dimension as an 8.5 by 11 that our American friends have. So if you use A4 paper and cardstock, go back to the previous video and you'll see how I made how I cut these down to as close as close to the sizing of an American A2 size card, where we make the 4 card bases and the 4 first layers. Now that one I used a large tonic paper trimmer, so I'm going to show you now how to do this on a small paper trimmer. So if you have a little guillotine like the Tim Holtz one, or just a smaller paper trimmer that's not as wide, as long as you've got maybe up to about 6 inches wide, you'll be fine to be able to do this on the little one. So I thought I'd show you how to do that today. So I've got 2 pieces of Calypso Coral Stampin' Up! Paper, cardstock, and 1 piece of the Mint Macaron. Again, these are also colours that I wouldn't normally put together, so I'll be creating something with them when I get there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the 2 sheets of the same colour. So the first thing to make your 4 card bases is you can put them together. You can do them one at a time, but I'm going to try and see if I can double up the thickness. And what you need to do is, because you're essentially doing this one at a time, or 2 at a time, you're going to have to just go to those individual measurements, rather than sort of going to like 11 inches and then moving along to 5.5. So you're going to start at 5.5 and just trim down. That mostly works with 2 pieces of cardstock, it's kind of thick. Then you're going to grab those other 2 that are still wider than 5.5, put them back in at 5.5 inches, trim them down, and this is your leftover. So these are your 4 card bases that measure 8.25 by 5.5. So that's close on an A4. To get the most out of your A4, that's as close to the American A2 size card base that you'll get. So those are the 4 card bases. Now we want to make the first layer that's going to go on here. So I'm going to take my Mint Macaron, and to do this I'm going to go in for the first width of the layer will be 5.25. So I'm going to do my 5.25, trim that. Then I'm going to take the excess, put it in 5.25. This is my leftover. I'm going to do them, let's try and do them together. I'm then going to put them together, turn them sideways so that they're this way round, pop them in here, and again, because we've only got a 6-inch mark here, we can't go to 7 3/4 as in the previous video, so we're going to go to the size that it will be, which is 3 7/8. So there's a little notch just before the 4-inch mark, and that's our layer. Take the next 2 that we've just cut off, put them together, and again just go into 3 7/8. And then this is your leftover from that. And now you have 4 layers, first layers, and 4 card bases ready to go. Ooh. And now you know how to do it if you've got a smaller paper trimmer. Super easy. Once you know the math, it's really easy. It took me a minute or 2, I will admit, to figure out the math, because this isn't straightforward 1/4 and 1/2 inch and whole inches. So it did take me a little while just to work it out, because my brain in maths does not go all the time. So, but I hope this is helpful. I hope this helps you know how to get the most out of your A4 cardstock, because I think that's the frustrating part, is because I love the A2 size cards, but unless I'm cutting and getting maybe one card base out of one piece of card, you know, there's a lot of extra waste. I mean, it's not waste, you'll use it, but you know what I mean. Like, this is, to me, this, especially if you're mass producing cards, or you want to make 4 cards, you know, maybe you want to sit and make 4 birthday cards so you've got them on hand, or if you want to make 4, God forbid, sympathy cards, or 4 baby cards, or something like that. So maybe things that you don't necessarily need to make all the time, like sympathy, touch wood, and you know, maybe baby cards, you like to have them on hand, but maybe, like for me, they're quite difficult to make because of, you know, the emotional attachment I have with that whole thing. So, you know, mass producing, either just because, you know, you want to mass produce lots of them, or because you just want to make maybe 4 at a time, so that you've got them on hand. It's great. It's great. It makes it easy, and it's not that much smaller than an American A2 size card. So I think if I can come to terms with this, then maybe you can too. So I hope this was helpful. I hope these 2 videos help you out a bit. And whether you're using a small trimmer or a bigger trimmer, the maths is the same. So go for it. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.